Alright everyone, we're out here in my shop right now. I'm getting ready to blast the two blue wine glasses that say I've got the wine blues on them. Currently my setup is a floor standing blast cabinet with aluminum oxide 220 grit inside of it. I run that through a pressure pot. Currently I'm using a smaller air compressor. I've got a 60 gallon over here that I'm currently installing. I've got a dust collection system. Nothing too fancy. I'm still trying to get everything up and going. A little bit more organized. I'd like to shorten some tubing and actually get this all plumbed in with PVC. But let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to blast these two and go ahead and take all the masking off of one. Put it over here on my little lighting area that I take my photos with. That way you guys can see everything. Again, here is the design. Again, cut on a Cricut. I weed the design out. I remove kind of, I guess, reverse of what a decal would be. Everything that is covered in black and also the blue painter's tape will stay protected. Everything that is clear, such as the wording and the music notes, is actually going to get the permanent etch onto it. Let me get these set up inside the blast cabinet. I'll bring you guys over here. I will let you know it will get a little noisy due to my dust collection. I'm sure my air compressor is going to click on at least once. Try to bear with me. Again, I'm new to the editing. I'm sure eventually I'll get sound editing over all the noise and stuff in the background, but for now, we're going to go ahead and get started. Don't mind the shop again, it's a little filthy. Give you a little bit more close-up of what I got going on here. Depending on what I am choosing to blast, whether it is acrylic, glass, mirror, porcelain, I adjust my pressure, but for glass, I try to leave my pressure somewhere between 30 and 40 PSI on the working pressure. Again, here's my air compressor I'm currently using, and that's the one I'm currently installing. All right, let's get you all set up here. Let's get a light turned on. See if we can find a nice clear spot. I've got some new acrylic that I'm going to be installing here on the blast cabinet to make everything a little bit more clean. And when I bought this cabinet, the previous person had a lot of paint overspray, so I had to do what I could do to clean everything off to make it viewable. So let's get started. I use a dead man valve. It's hooked up to my pressure pot. Makes it easier. All right, let's get the blasting. I like to brush it off. The media that I use is not cheap. I try to reuse as much as I can, let it drop down inside the cabinet instead of bringing it out here. I have not etched anything that has colored glass on it, so I'm kind of a little excited about this one. I've wanted to do this design, but finding the blue wine glasses has been a little bit of a task. I hope you guys can hear me all right over that shot back. I bet you my compressor will kick on here in just a couple minutes. Hopefully we'll get lucky and it won't. All right, let's go ahead and blast the second glass. Again, I'll brush it off. There's the compressor. ahead and shut that down. That way there's no background noise. This is all taped off. That is just because these panels with such fine media, they like to leak. I do plan on pulling this cabinet back apart once I go ahead and replace that glass with some new acrylic from over here. This is just a test piece I use when I start blasting. I like to test a piece, make sure that the media and everything is where it should be and the pressure. But I got some new acrylic to put up here. This is the inside of the cabinet. All the media collects here, falls down. Here's that dead man valve. Shut the air down. Get this pulled back. All right, let's get this pulled out. We'll get it unmasked. Again, this right here is mainly just a test. I have not done colored glass. I'm kind of excited to see the white on blue. Let's get this propped up a little bit here. And we'll go through unmasking. Let's see what we got as our finished product. Sometimes this can be a little tedious. I like to use a heat gun. I have it set up inside the house currently right now at my little station. But I like to use heat because it actually makes the vinyl a little bit more pliable. Once you put some blast media on it with the cabinet, it produces heat. And with that heat, it likes to dry the vinyl out. So the vinyl is not as stretchy and pliable as it was from the get-go. Vinyl is very forgiving. It does like to go back to its original shape. Bring this in here. See how it just tears right there? That also is because I made some relief cuts. Being that this is a 2 concave surface, which means it has a curve this direction, plus a curve this direction, objects do not like to lay flat. They like to bubble up, curl, so you have to make relief cuts, use some heat to get the vinyl to stretch, do what you want with it. To get it to lay down how you want it. The first design that I ever did on a wine glass was a Patrick Mahomes, and it was a stemless wine glass. And I'll tell you what, I learned very quickly that relief cuts, although make applying the stencil a little bit harder, it does make the finished result a little bit better. Another thing that you can do is you can soak this in hot water with the vinyl on, and the vinyl will almost rub right off. I like to soak it in fairly hot water for about 5 to 10 minutes. If you do cold water, it will still make the vinyl adhesive release fairly well. I'm hoping you guys can see this. You can see there's some still little pieces like in the E's, the B's, the L, S. And when I'm done with these, I like to clean them with rubbing alcohol. If there's any residue from the vinyl left, the rubbing alcohol should take that right off. If you choose to use your nail to pick some of this, just be very careful because the etched area will scratch very easily. Although this is permanent, unless you break it. You can kind of see the design there. I think it's pretty neat. It is permanent, but you did remove some glass, and it is now I won't say sanded surface, but it is not the glossy glass like you're used to when you're dealing with glass. Imagine, I guess, taking sandpaper to some glass and kind of roughen the surface a little bit. That's kind of like what this does, but the finished product of this is actually very, very smooth. All right, let me grab some cleaner. We'll clean this up and we'll see what we got. media off of here as best as I can. Voila. Let me put this over here on the black background. Again, guys, don't mind my shop, getting everything set up. Here's the final product. Again, it's smooth, kind of very hard to show. With aluminum oxide 220 grit, you get a lot of uniformity. It gives you a nice little smooth etch, which is kind of what I go after. If you use sand, it will be a very, very, very rough result. Some people, when they etch, they use silicon carbide. Some use aluminum oxide. Some will also use soda blasting. Every media has its own ups and downs. I chose aluminum oxide. I have not tried any of the other medias. I plan to try soda for some of the mobile stuff, like car windows. It's a little bit more gentle. I'd like to start doing some mirrors, making custom bar mirrors with individuals' last names, first names, kind of like the old school bar mirrors that you see. I also have Stacy Leiden from Leiden Art Studio working on an idea with me to do some frames. She does epoxy. You should check her out on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. She's located here locally in Topeka as well. Just awesome work. We're trying to work on some epoxy photo frames to where the bar mirrors will have a little bit of color associated with them, but not in the old fashion as you would have it on the actual mirror. I am still going to use some paint on some of the mirrors with just a standard frame, but I think it would be really cool to have the old reds, golds, silvers, blacks, whites, kind of all thrown together in a photo frame for the mirrors. So more to come on that. Again, check out Leiden Art Studios, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. I'm not quite sure if she has a web page or not. She does do like in-person teaching of it as well. She does awesome work. Check her out, guys. All right, I'm gonna finish getting this unmasked. I will do a double photo of the results. I am gonna have these up for sale. This glass and that glass as a set. I am somewhere between the $15 and $20 range, but we'll see. Again, sorry, I am pouring sweat right now. It's hotter than crap out here in my shop. I did not turn my fan on. Smart move on my part. But thanks for watching. And again, sorry, this first video gonna be kind of a tester. So thanks for watching.